So when I found out about these reasons why I'm burnt out and unhappy in college, it completely shifted my perspective on productivity. Nowadays, in the race for the best life, best career, best marriage, and just best everything, we put productivity above all things, including health. I call it toxic productivity. Toxic productivity, in my opinion, contains this very problem that Cal Newport described very well, which is called chronic overload. Cal Newport is a computer science professor at Georgetown University who writes blogs and best-selling books on productivity. He's actually one of my favorite authors, and he wrote a book like this called Deep Work. Such a good book. One of the best books I ever read in that realm of productivity and stuff. So according to Cal, the present state of the job culture is to put as many tasks as possible into our to-do list and just complete them no matter what. I can definitely relate to it because I put so many things into my to-do list and thinking that the more the better. I constantly have this overloaded list of things that I have to do. So there are three problems that chronic overload brings, leading us college students to burnout and unhappiness. So the first problem is brain short circuit. How Cal explains that human brain has the part that's responsible for long-term planning and execution of that plan. And so during that process of planning and completing it brings us happiness, and we feel good about ourselves. However, when we put more and more stuff on our to-do list, we actually short-circuit that part of our brain because we have 500 things we have to do. So for example, we gotta do, we try to do tons of homework, go to all club meetings, then volunteer, then we have to go to work, then we have our own hobbies and interests, and blah blah blah. So that puts pressure on that part of our brain, which makes us actually not feel good about ourselves because we cannot do all those 500 things on our to-do list. So the second problem is overhead spiral. As Cal puts it, the more we take on, the more overhead we have for each task. So it piles up because each thing we say yes to brings some additional work. So from college perspective, what I experience is that the more I put on my to-do list, the more time, or most of my time, I spend on unnecessary things that are not important. So I don't spend time on important stuff that brings me most knowledge and most fulfillment. So it means I spend less time on deep work and more time on shallow work, which is actually another concept for another video. So the third problem of chronic overload is that it creates this relentless pace. Because we have tons of things on our to-do list, we under this constant pressure and have no time to rest. We constantly feel like we should be doing something, from morning to night. So we have this relentless pace where we always feel behind, and downtime is actually very important for mental health. So I have tons of things to do actually deprives us from that rest, leading to constant burnout and unhappiness, especially in college. I can definitely relate and attest to that as a college student. So that's crazy. Yeah, so those are three problems. Even though Cal Newport talks about them in terms of kind of like job market and workers, I feel like this information is very relatable to college, because college is like having a full-time and part-time jobs together if you calculate the number of hours you're required to actually spend on each class. So let's summarize what we talked about. So the college students, they get burned out because of toxic productivity, which brings up a chronic overload. Chronic overload creates, in addition, three problems, right? Which are brain short-circuiting, overhead spiral, and relentless pace. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope you got something out of it. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.